As Christmas is looming down upon us, it looks like there might not be much of a Schönes Weihnacht in Deutschland as the festivities approach. Those German Christmas markets that recently have become popular in the UK, like in Leeds, for example, might have their days numbered in Germany because of the cost of added security. Since running cars and trucks into the crowd became fashionable by disgruntled asylum seekers, the market organisers are having to encircle the markets with temporary concrete bollards and even have monitored entry and exit points, with the public having to pass these points to enter and leave the event. Checkpoints in Germany. Who'd have thought it? I can't say I've ever seen one of those. But anyway, the cost of security this time round is always making the markets unviable. Of a recent poll, only 1.6% of the markets make a profit. Many markets are asking for public money to help in these added costs. But it seems no room at the inn for this one. And these pleas were falling on deaf ears. Chancellor Friedrich Merz said, "We can no longer hold Christmas markets, even in smaller towns, without a comprehensive security concept." A concept. Now, there's one for you. He added that the cost lies with the regional police and that his government, the national government, cannot provide direct support. And he should know, because nearly every city in Germany is insolvent, is underwater. Collectively, they are owing 30 billion euros. And even the neoliberals are saying that the weight of immigration is too heavy for them to keep up with the expenditure that the added population brings with it. In North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany's biggest state, only 10 of the 396 municipalities are up to date with their financial obligations. 10. And it looks like the rest of Germany is in the same position. Essen itself was expecting to turn a surplus, only for it to turn into a 123 million euro black hole.
Ouch.
Showing once more that the globalist open border policy with generous social security and handouts can only be short-lived. Something perhaps that the UK government might want to look at. Bringing it down a little, the Bild newspaper said, we can see that the continuous flow of mainly foreign immigrants of fighting-age men receiving handouts, refugee housing, and integration efforts is costing Germany 50 billion euros a year. The costs for schools, hospitals, prisons, and mental institutions have ballooned, and the real costs could reach 20 trillion euros if the borders remain open. In Essen, 30% of school kids come from a migrant background. How about that one? Nationally, 63% of welfare claimants are foreign, even though they are a minority in the country. German nationals are having to foot the bill through the taxes. After the budget from yesterday in the UK, isn't there a ring of similarity in the UK? You know, isn't the thing.
Yeah.
Just to put icing on the cake, in Germany, the population is also underwater in debt because of high rent and energy costs. It's like looking into a Spiegel in the mirror. Since Merkel, Germany, once the economic powerhouse of Europe, has become almost a third world nation. This isn't me saying this, by the way.
Yeah, no.
In Germany, everyone can see. It seems that only the AfD party is willing to close the border, cut the benefits of foreigners, and put the German nationals first in the pecking order. Sounds a little bit like somebody I know.
Yes, I know. Yes.
To me, it seems like there's a huge parallel going on in the UK.
Right.
Off you go. So there's
Uh,
2 points. One is that the German markets,
yeah. Losing. Yeah.
even though in the UK, a German market, if you sell a sausage at a food stand, you call it a German sausage, even though it isn't. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I get the picture. Yeah. It's a marketing tool. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Of course. At
Um.
Christmas.
Yeah. Yes. Um. Well. Okay. I mean. Yeah. The popularity of German markets, you say in the UK. Fair enough. You got to remember we voted for Brexit, but we still welcome European influences and things. We like it as British people. We like our cake and eat it. Okay, yeah, we want to be outside, but foreign influences are welcome. I'm going to say this. Um,
Controlled.
yeah,
Foreign influence.
hey,
Controlled.
foreign influences. Yeah,
Foreign influence.
yeah. Yeah, things we like. Yeah, so we don't sort of say yeah, walls up, yeah, curtains closed to everything. Um, Now, yeah, there is a disjoint, and let's just be honest, it's just not Germany and the UK. Other countries, the political class, elitist politicians, call them what we will, politely, please, um, are have a disjoint with their policy for whatever reason with the general population. Um, and I mean, unlike most politicians, I can count up to 10 on my fingers. I think they struggle past three. Yeah, three being the operative word. Um, yeah, there doesn't seem to be an understanding. I know they're saying they still have the notion that the country is wealthy. The country is wealthy because they're taxing the population to hell. And yes, if it's other people's money, i.e. ours, I'll say ours, collectively, or we, although we're outside of it. Yeah. Um, it's it's still someone's money, to paraphrase a certain prime minister many years ago. There's no such thing as public money. And they're not choosing to spend it in the way that the populations across certain countries in Europe would wish it to be spent, i.e., on them. I pay tax and I expect healthcare, a good standard of healthcare, and a good standard of education as a starting place point for my nationality. That's not racist to say that. That's a pragmatism. That's pragmatism. Pragmatism. Um, when you've got your own house in order, as it were, established, then you can start helping others. And yeah, that is a message for me, because if you're going to push everyone into poverty, well, that's the problem. It's not everyone's going into poverty. Um, you are we as yeah as alarm clock workers, i.e., we set our alarms for 5:30. We're up working, heading out at 7 o'clock in the morning, do our 8 to 12 hour shifts, earning our money, and then here we go, and 60% of it disappears on us, up to 60% sometimes. Um, why would anyone in these countries want to go to work anymore? And that's probably a different argument. But yeah, we are paying for it. We're paying for it. There's plenty online when you're looking at the parks in Germany and in UK and other countries of people, certain individuals, i.e., people of who don't belong to that nation directly, sitting in the parks doing nothing, and we're paying for it. Yeah, when we've got our own unemployment problems as well to begin with. Now, I'm no genius, but that,
I've gathered. I can gather that.
yeah, yeah,
I can believe that. I can believe that, Mark. But
yeah,
go
I'm
on.
not a genius, yeah, but I can join the dots together, and I can count to 10. I can join the dots together, yeah, and I can see what is wrong. That there's financial problem, businesses are closing, hospitals, healthcare is not being done in the way it should be, education is struggling, and yet we're bringing these countries are bringing more and more people in. And now this thing about violence against people who just want to go and attend a German market, for example, way of life, the way of life is being affected by people that don't necessarily agree with the country they've gone to. The way of life in the country are now openly in the streets, telling us all that our way of life is not suitable for them. It's not the way they believe we should be going on. Yeah. Hence the ramming, hence the terror, hence the destruction of our society, the way we want to live.
I've got a massive cautionary tale to tell.
Yeah.
Which is that the UK better get its shit together quickly to close the border, to take away social welfare from foreign people, and to get rid of the asylum hotels, etc. Because who's going to do that first is going to be Germany. Where do you think all those surplus people are going to go?
Well, they're heading there anyway. Germany's might be the stopping off point for what we know.
Well, if they don't get what apparently they're getting, if they get nothing, they're just going to head south.
Well,
they're going to go to pastures green, which is going to, you won't have small boats anymore coming across from France.
Yeah, your entire cruise line. Yeah,
you'll be getting chartered boats from Cunard, bringing them across.
Yeah, I mean,
because for an Eritrean to have a fiver in his pocket, that's a lot of money.
Yes,
and he thinks that the streets are paved with gold.
Yeah,
because then it's money he's got, which he wouldn't have got in his home country without having to work for, or beg for, or steal for. And it's given to him straight away as soon as he opens his hand.
Yeah,
just for being there, and for him, that it's heaven.
Yeah, of course it is. Fighting,
it's heaven.
Yeah, men of fighting age are there. I mean, it's very frustrating for ordinary people. I mean, maybe I don't speak for all ordinary people in the UK. I appreciate that. People have got different attitudes, what charity is. Those that are crying out to give more charity, well, they can go and pay more tax, quite frankly, on it. Yeah, we should all be given the option what we want to pay our taxes for, and they can pay more tax if they see it. Now, I bet there'll be just shown then idea on it then. It is very, very frustrating. And I know where you're coming from for ordinary people. I mean, yes, I said the other day I try and be relaxed and tranquil and calm.
It isn't just for ordinary people, Mark.
Yeah.
It's for government. Because if the UK doesn't organise itself before,
but they don't care. The government.
If the UK government does not organise itself before Germany does, then all of those people, all of those immigrants from Germany, are going to head south.
But this is it, and that's the point I'm making. The people in government are blind and deaf, and they say they represent the constituents. But I'm going to say this: the politicians in the UK, you do not represent your constituents. You are against your constituents. I hope you suffer because of it. And I mean that. I don't want to see anything bad happen to you, but I do think it's right that your constituents approach you if you're walking along the high street and tell you how they're feeling. Because you're evidently not understanding it any other way. And I'm speaking directly to the politicians, and they know who they are. If you can justify what the senior administration in the UK are doing, fair enough. Explain it directly to the constituents. Have a meeting and find out what the constituents are actually feeling about what is going on. And that should happen in Germany, and it should happen across Europe, because you are all blind to it.
In Germany, the politicians on national level, the pennies are just dropped. Because Germany was the powerhouse, economic powerhouse of Europe, and now it's scrimping and scraping, and it can't even keep its. And they prided themselves on having a surplus and having a very good quality of life.
Well,
And
well,
now they're
we
rubbing shoulders with Eritreans on street corners, and the quality of life in Germany is just imploded.
well we know what happened last time in Germany that happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
we need.
well, there's a lot of screaming and shouting
Yeah, like
and,
I've just done. Yeah, yeah,
showing your balls to Putin.
yeah.
You know, there's good. Like I said, if there's an economic crash in Germany, they're going to
Yeah.
go to war.
Well, yeah. Well, you can
You
see
don't
the
see
angling up. I mean, there's so much across it in the media now. Open discussions on what we call the mainstream media about this, which it's filtered through. Um, who are obviously desperate for clicks and reads as well, admittedly. So suddenly they're having to change their editorial line. But I it's yeah, and this is it. They're trying to bluff. I do think there's a plan across Europe for that to happen, for the political elite want to stay in power. I know I use the term of political elite. Can I name who they are? I think I can. But and it's disgraceful. They're not representing us as people. We don't want war. We're not. They're not the ones having to take the brunt of it all.
I don't know anybody who does, Mark.
Mm,
But the thing is, when I say we,
mm.
I don't mean you and I,
No,
but I mean the common man.
yeah, I know
They're the ones. They're the ones that are pushed out to the front lines and lose their life.
exactly. That's it. That's the point I'm making. We're the
Fool me once,
cannon fodder. Yeah.
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's what history is trying to teach us.
Yes. Well, we don't. Well, it's not us who don't learn. Yeah. It's unfortunately it's our elected officials. Or
Well, we elected them.
the thing is, in the UK under the system, we didn't actually elect them. Only 9 million people voted, 9.5 or 9 million people voted for the current administration. Which, when you
There
look
was
at,
no callback.
yeah, so we have a problem, people. How do we remove these people? That's the
Stop the
other.
avalanche that's going to happen when Germany closes its borders and chucks everybody out. It's going to happen.
Well, I know, and I don't. I know what the answer should be. The answer is we get rid of the present administration. The logical answer is to get rid of the current administration in the UK and replace it with one that does do what the voting population wishes, and that's not going to happen
As,
under conventional way.
as Donald Trump once said, you've got nothing to lose.
Well,
Let's see
yes.
what happens.
Well, yes, but how do we get to the point of having a legitimate election?